Hello students, welcome to the next video of subject operation research. In our previous video, we had discussed the graphical analysis of a linear programming problem. In our today's video, we will discuss the simplex method of solving linear programming problem prepared by Assistant Professor Sumit Singh Sikarwar, Mechanical Engineering Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat, Gandhinagar. Now let us understand the comparison between the graphical and simplex method. So in case of graphical method, it was used when we have two decision variables in the problem, whereas a simplex method is used when the problem may have any number of decision variables, or you can say that multi-variable problems. In graphical method, the inequalities are assumed to be equations, and after that, this will enable us to draw the straight lines. But in case of simplex method, the inequalities are covered into equations by either adding a slack variable in maximization problem or subtracting a surplus variable in case of minimization problem. Now let us see the topics which we are going to cover in this video. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in this video. We'll start with the introduction. We'll see the objectives of this unit. We'll see the solution of LPP using simplex method. We'll see the simplex algorithm, in which we are going to learn the two different methods, namely first is penalty cost method or big M method, and another is the two-phase simplex method. Now let us begin with the introduction. A simplex method is used to find the optimal solution to a multivariable problem. This method is basically an algorithm which is used by an examinee to examine corner points in a methodical fashion until he or she arrives at the best solution. In this method, the slack variables are added to change the constraints into equation and will write all these variables to the left of equal sign, and the constants are written to the right of equation. In this unit, you will be able to study in detail about the simplex method in LPP, and you will also get to know the steps involved in the simplex method. In addition to this, you will also study about chance big M method and will understand the way to solve an LPP by using the same method. We will also see the two-phase method of solving any LPP model. Now let us switch to objectives of this unit. After going through this unit, you will be able to discuss the simplex method in LPP, will comprehend the steps of simplex algorithm, will find a solution of any LPP by using simplex algorithm, we'll understand solving LPP using Chance-Brigham method. We'll also come to know the two-phase simplex method to solve a given problem. Now let us move on to solution of LPP using simplex method. Now this simplex method is an iterative procedure for solving LPP in a finite number of steps, which indicates that it provides an algorithm which consists of a moving from one vertex of region of a feasible solution to another vertex in such a manner that the value of objective function at the succeeding vertex is less or more, whichever may be the case, than at the previous vertex. This procedure is repeated, and since the number of vertices is finite, the method leads to an optimal vertex in a finite number of steps, or it also indicates the existence of that unbounded solution. Now let us define the simplex method. As we can see that let X be a basic feasible solution of any LPP model, and we need to maximize Z is equal to Cx, which subjected to Ax is equal to some constant B, in such a manner that XB is equal to B inverse of B. Now what is B? So here B is the basic matrix found by the column of basic variables. Now let us assume vector CBJ, which is equals to CB1 comma CB2 and up to CBM, where CBJ are the components of C associated with the basic variable, which is called a cost vector, which associate to a feasible solution XB. Another definition is let XB be a basic feasible solution of a LPP in a maximization problem of Z is equal to Cx, where Ax is equal to B and our X is always greater than equals to 0. Now let CB be the cost vector corresponding to XB. Now for each column of vector AJ in A1 matrix, which is not a column vector of B, so we'll have AJ in such a way that summation of all AJ from I is equal to 1 to M is the product of Aij into Bi. Then the number of feasible solution is given by Zj is equal to summation from I to M of product Cbi into Aij, which is called the evaluation corresponding to Aj column, and the number Zj minus Cj is called the net evaluation corresponding to J. Now let us move on to the simplex algorithm. Now this simplex algorithm is a classical method to solve the optimization problem of a linear programming For the solution of any linear programming by simplex algorithm, there is existence of an initial basic feasible solution which is always assumed. Now let us see the steps for computation of an optimal solution, which are as follows. In step 1, we will check whether the objective function of a given LPP is Now let us move on to the simplex algorithm. This simplex algorithm is a classical method to solve the optimization problem of a linear programming. For the solution of any LPP by simplex algorithm, there must existence of an initial basic feasible solution which is always being assumed. Let us see the steps of computation of an optimum solution, which are as follows. In first step, we'll check whether the objective function of given LPP is to be maximized or minimized. Now, if it will be the case of minimization, then we need to convert it into a problem of maximization. So we can write our minimization is equal to minus of maximization of minus z. Our next step is we must check whether all the bi where I is equal to 1 to m are positive. If these bi are negatives, then we need to multiply inequality of constraint by -1 so that all bi becomes positive. In our step 3, we will express the problem in a standard form by introducing a slack or surplus variables, whichever may be the case, to convert the inequality constraint into equations. We will obtain the basic feasible solution to the problem in the form of xb is equal to inverse of b into b, and will put all these equations to a table. In our next step, we will compute the net evaluation Zj minus Zc by using the relation our Zj minus Cj, that is equals to Cb into Aj minus Cj. Now we will examine the sign of Zj minus Cj. If all Zj minus Cj, whatever we got, is greater than equals to 0, then the initial basic feasible solution of xp is an optimum basic solution. But if there must be at least Zj minus Cj which is less than 0, then we need to proceed to next step, as the solution is not optimal. The next step is to find the entering variable or key column and key row. Key column and key row. If there are more than one negative Zj minus Cj available to us, choose the most negative of them. So let it be Zr minus Cr for the same j is equal to r columns. Now this gives us the entering value variable xr, which indicates by an arrow at the bottom of rth column. If there are more than one variable having same most negative Zj minus Cj, then any one of them can be selected as an entering variable. Now, if all AIR is less than equals to 0 for all I is equal to 1 to m, then there is an unbounded solution for a given volume or variable problem. If at least one AIR which is greater than equals to 0, which is greater than 0 will have, then the corresponding vector XR enters to a basic. Our step 7 is to find the living variable or key row. In this we will compute XBI divided by AIR, where AIR is greater than 0. If it is the case of minimum, so we'll have the minimum of these ratios be XBI divided by AKR in such where we'll choose the variable XK to leave the basis. Which is called key row. And the element at this intersection of key row and key column is called key element. In our next step, we'll form a new element by using the formula new element is equal to old element minus product of elements of key row and key column divided by an key element. And in our final step, we'll go to step 5 and repeat the procedure until we will have an optimum solution which is obtained, or there would be any indication of unbounded solution. So in our next video we will see another two methods, and after that we will solve the examples based on these methods. Thank you for watching video.